Yeah, bah, ça se trouve bien.
Oui, bonsoir mesdames et messieurs, salutations spéciales à vous tous. Welcome to the Rotschill Anderson Show and my crew. Ah oui, done là, monsieur. Vous qui ça là? I don't think, monsieur. On show beaucoup comment c'est les gars dans eux. So, monsieur, welcome to the show. Et m'a même besoin de présenter Nexao là parce que moi, je suis dans eux. Je tout présenter tête. Et la dans tout, Richard.
Pas présenté.
Mais ça va, c'est ça me brûle. Ça qu'on fait aujourd'hui lundi là. Loulou chéri, you know what take over, baby. Let's take over, Loulou. Bambaga baba next out, take over.
All right. How's everyone doing?
I'm doing great.
All right. You all right?
So we have some very, very interesting topics this evening. We are going to start with federal employees that are under fire. All right, accountability versus mass layoff, government trimming the fat and the impact of automation. That's cool. Jimmy Butler and Miami Heat's exit. You know, it's been going on for a long time. We're going to have a discussion about that. And last but not least, debating if men should see women in their natural state before a relationship in this era that we're living in, filled with filters and enhancement wigs and lashes. So that'll be a very interesting topic. So let's go ahead and start with the first one, the federal employees that are under fire. Anderson, take over.
Well, eh bien, mesdames et messieurs, nous pourrons aller regarder vidéo et puis nous pourrons aller élaborer sur lui because of just as we discussed before, I just understand. And at the end of the day, it's gonna have to happen anyway. They're gonna have to shrink government, just like company downsizes. The government have to downsize. As a matter of fact, believe me, the government is more fat than any company in the world right now. So let's see what happened.
Billionaire Elon Musk, tasked by President Donald Trump to shrink the size of the U.S. government, said Saturday that all federal workers will have to report their activities or risk being fired. In a post on X, Musk said federal employees, quote, will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. It is unclear what legal basis.
Well, Stanley, what's your takes on that?
I mean, it's simple, you know, like any entity, either private or government, you know, if they ask you an email about your task, you know, it's simple. I mean, if you're really doing something valuable and to contribute to an organization, either if it's private or the government, you should have easily 5 bullet points of what you've done throughout the week, right? Most company that's, especially if you're dealing with sales, have Salesforce. Your manager, all he has to do is go on Salesforce and see your activity for the weeks. And he can say, hey, this guy is going to either have a successful week or a successful year, month, quarter, whatever it is, and based on the activities he's generating. So I don't see it as anything, you know, crazy that they're asking for. It's simple. And if you can't find five things that you're doing, maybe you shouldn't be working here, right? It makes sense. You know, it's just the American people ask Donald Trump, and then Donald Trump trusts in Elon Musk to do a job, and the job is being done. You know, but the only thing I'm a little bit against is that they should take their time to properly look at what's needed and what's not needed before they come and start firing people, because now you may be in a situation where you trim the fat so much that government cannot function the way it should function because it doesn't have the talent, because you really have to look at the talent that you have and appropriately allocate your talent. But other than that, I think the shakeup, it's something that is well needed, and we'll see where it takes us.
Manu.
I agree. The only thing is, it's like sometimes those people, some of them been there for a long time. And I mean, I'm not blaming them. I'm blaming the system who put them where they are. If they never ask you what you're doing for 10 years, 20 years, all of a sudden someone say, well, what have you been doing? I mean, it's always going to be like a culture shock. You might not even know what you're doing. Do you see what I mean? Like, nobody never asks you. You just come and go as you please. And then, or maybe give them like, hey, you know what, guys, the next 2 months, people are going to have to, start monitoring their work. So we need to know what's important, what's unimportant, who need to be there, who doesn't need to be there. Like, like they say, there's a park in California where there's one guy with a key just to open the bathroom if someone locked themselves in there. So if you ask that guy, what did you do last week? Well, no one locked themselves in. So he didn't do anything. So, I mean, I'm just saying, like,
that's a democratic state, just for you to know.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, give them a heads up. So, and say, hey, you know what? Starting next month, everybody, every week, you're going to have to give a report to see what you do. Then from there, the government can see, who we're going to keep, who we're not keeping. I'm fine with the idea. It just, the process might be a little, shocky for some, though,
What about you, Lulu?
So I'm sure we've all experienced calling governmental entities and being told different stories by different people that we speak to. I have experienced mess after mess after mess. And sometimes you get fortunate enough to find someone who knows their job well enough where you can finally get an answer. I think this is good. I agree that there should be a heads up, but I think this will have greater transparency and accountability, increased efficiency, which will be better public service. However, it's not just about trimming the fat, because sometimes in that process, they may let go of people who really know what they're doing, right? The people who are there needs training, because if you're sitting next to your coworker and you guys are not speaking the same language, and one customer is calling for the same thing, and that's two different stories being told, I think performance.
Okay, why were you hired in the first place?
Some of them really don't know their job; they're just there.
So
have you ever been to the RMV?
Well, that's an experience in itself.
But that's a perfect example of people who doesn't know what they're doing. Where do you get training to work on the IRV? Do you go to school? What is the degree requirement to work at the RMV?
Right. I've held governmental positions, and I know it, because a lot of times some people that are in a higher level than me will come to me for assistance because they ran off the customer, and I'm like, no, this is not how you do it, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's a matter of the training needs to happen, not just layoffs. That will be very important. That's not
very Richard.
Well, I agree with what he wants. Okay, as far as report what you're doing, but they will complain because nobody likes change or want to adapt quickly with changes. Okay, so this guy come in here and said, "This is what I want. This is what I want," and then you want full transparency. And these people that was working there before 10, 15 years, 20 years, they've been there and they got very complacent. So it's gonna be hard for them to adapt with what Elon wants because he's changing the ways.
Well, okay. Here's what I understand in all this. I can understand some people say yes, the change is necessary. but it's the way that you choose to do it. And I believe right now, because there is too much chaos and the social media behind it. So practically, if, and even in a private company, if you're gonna downsize, when it's happening, first of all, it's happening behind closed door, and then sometimes there's a leak, but people don't really know. And everybody like talking in the down low, oh, I think that's what's gonna happen, things like that. I believe this person might is a job, but nobody really knows. So what's happening here in this situation, which they are doing a great things by cutting costs and by reducing government, but the fact that the way they go by doing it, like where like there's a lot of talking, a lot of chaos. Like, for example, this Twitter, I don't see the need for him to post that. You understand my point? So people will look at it as an actual attack against them. You understand?
Like propaganda.
Propaganda for what? If you know, so practically this Bill Clinton did the same thing. And when Bill Clinton did it, nobody knew except the people that got fired. Now what happened is this: you're gonna get fired. Before you get fired, it's a 20 minutes. The whole country already know, hey, yo, you're about to lose your job. That's the problem. And now people that even know you calling you and say, hey, dude, do you know Elon Musk just sent a tweet that you're gonna lose your job? Now everybody knows that you're about to be unemployed. So you can even go ask somebody to borrow money. So that's the problem. So because
this is a very important fact.
they put your business
Very
out.
important.
And I believe that's where a lot of people are upset about. Because everybody admit that not only the US government, all governments are not performing 100%. All government performing at 50% level compared to private entity. We can admit that. Don't ever think about step foot in the DMV. That you will know. If you want to know how government work, go trying to get a driver license. And you see, a lot of people are supposed to be working. But you there, like, you spend, if you're going to go to DMV, you spend all day there. And I believe one thing about government people, they're so complacent, and here's a thing, they know they cannot get fired easy. So they don't even have to make any effort to do their job. Because they know there's a union to back them up. Do you understand? So practically everybody know changes need to be made. But it's like, I believe what's going to screw up the whole process is the way they doing it is completely wrong. But at the end of the day, one thing people do not understand. People don't understand exactly the main reason why they have to do that. And they don't have a choice. Even though the number one reason to shrink the government, but the main reason is they want these people that wasting their time, wasting taxpayer dollars in the government to go work where? In the private sector. The private sector need people. But you have right now, you have a good 20% of people that are working for government, they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. Meanwhile, you have, and that's another thing. That's the reason why I said, Elon Musk know what he's doing. Because at the present moment, if we need people, they have to get people from the outside to apply for visa to come and work here. Meanwhile, you have people, but those people are working in the wrong place. So you trying to tell me those government people that lose their job, they're not going to get another job? Yes, another job is waiting for you. But the difference between the government and the private sector, you're going to work.
Yeah, they're not gonna work agriculture, dude.
You
Nobody's
understand?
gonna get fired
No.
the IRS.
I'm talking
and
about
go-
those people that work for the government that's been in office.
and go work construction.
That been in office. But the difference between government job, you don't have to work. There's no accountability. You see, you look at it right now. And all these people that work for the government, they pissed off. You know why? Because now they're finally having somebody requesting about their job, their duty. They never get used to that. I believe that's what the problem is.
Anderson, I agree with you 300%. The thing is, I feel like it's more like a I feel like it's more like a marketing stunt.
Producer dit faut parler créole. Moi-même, j'ai fini de passer.
Langue monsieur Lou.
Oh,
Langue monsieur Lou.
yeah. All right. So, venir avec chainsaw, do all that. It's more like a marketing stunt.
Exactly.
We don't need all that. You know,
No.
it's the same thing like those actors. You know, they give money to charity and then they gotta put their face to take pictures. Nobody needs to know you give money. If you really want to help, we don't need your face. You know, just write the check anonymously. They don't need to know it's me. But you know, that it's kind of like, you know, the problem that I have with it. But I agree with it 300%. Stanley knows. You live in Massachusetts. They got the MBTA, right? Every week they got an accident on the T. Do you know how they pick their technician? They don't pick 10 best technician. They got a lottery, like a pool. They pick somebody. You know, oh, you're coming to work for the MBTA. You get into the lottery. And then they got one guy to screw one screw, and then another guy to come and look at it. Every year they put the budget up. Guess what? You know how they used to do? You work for them for 20 years, and then you get $4,000 a month for the rest of your life. I know people who retire there at 40 years old. You get in when you're 20, you're 40, you retired. And then you get $4,000. And then no wonder why they give, you know, every year the tax got to go higher. Some people work 10 years and say, oh, you know what?
Believe me, if you're collecting $4,000 for free, you're not about to die anytime soon.
Mano, basa for work. Mano, basa for manopil. Ça fait 4 fois répéter là, 4 différents shows.
No, I'm just zoo, Jean-Yo. No, how they waste people's money.
So,
you see what I'm saying? So that's not the right way, you know, to do things. Same thing like the, you know, DMV or whatever. How do they pick those people?
et pas oublier tout le monde pas qu'il confusion tout, you know bagay ça. Et ça m'a dit ouais l'autre fait ba, et ça m'a dit là men. L'autre fait tout tintin ça ou men. In the social media this and that. Imagine pendant que monsieur voit un email, il dit pas fait tel bagay et puis gon l'autre chef de département dit say something else. So ça veut dire que même moun qui travaille confused. Et ça me dit là. Et another thing too. Et gon changement qu'a fait. When you're trying to fight it all you want, all you can, the change is gonna come when it's come to AI. Go back at the job side. C'est AI qui va le faire. Tu vas parler, nèg va regarder un screw, vin garder un screw. On caméra qui regarde screw. It doesn't have to be a human being looking at the damn screw. And I got it too. I don't know. There's a video we're gonna watch where go back at job when you fair. And then if I put in the fait un private sector déjà. You know, for the past 10 years, on regarde monsieur bagay qui fait, changement qui fait, l'on aller dans le supermarket. Avant, charger cashier. Now, pas grand pile cashier encore. Right now, it's self-checked in, self-checked out. That's it.
Même toll, on va c'est non toll.
L'autre, il m'ont tout toll te kon gen moun. Toll pas gen moun la den même kounya encore. So ça veut dire que kounya là, problème non qui posé, changement c'est à privé dans le gouvernement. And then those people, they know they're about to lose their job. And it's not about losing your job, that's fine. But guess what? there's other job for you. Go in the private sector.
What, 13,000 employees? 13,000 employees at the CDC. So I've been down to CDC several times. Actually, Dr. Howery, one of my former attendings, works there, and I'm in close contact with the CDC. They have about, what, 13,000 employees? 13,000 employees at the CDC. In the last couple of years, those probationary people, which is about 10% of their employee base, which is about 1,300 people, which you're referring to, a lot of the work they do is duplicitous with AI. Once again, one of the problems we have.
Did you hear that? Now everybody, again, that's what happened. When people don't accept the truth. Nègre ba vérité a. Monsieur ba vérité a. The guy's a physician. Li compte sa k'ap fait là. 10% of the workforce, AI can do it. Did you hear what they just said? They're just about to boo him. But guess what? It's the reality. Meanwhile, pendant ce temps, on va pas moun ki la, on va comprendre que nous n'avons gros compétition avec China. Tout bagay so k'ap fait là. It's because that Elon Musk comprend ça tout. We have to prepare ourselves to face China. And go paquet ça fait nous pas nous jamais face China, c'est policy que nous gagnons qui sont problème. Our policy will never allow us to face the challenge coming from China.
Yeah, but as far as China, technology in China, we are way behind. If you're talking about technology-wise, we are way behind.
No, it's not even beside technology-wise. But l'ou bien gade, China son pays qui a fonctionné. Employeur connaît le besoin de job li. Even government, you can tell China, moun kap travay pour gouvernement yo, they are under pressure, même genre avec moun ap travay in the private sector.
More pressure.
Probably more pressure. Because you connaît si yo perdi job la pa kon met yo ka fe. Pa gen union, you cannot take them to court. Depuis you fin do perdi job ou communist country, ou perdi job ou. So therefore that's what you have to do.
You got me marito medel.
Sou parle for you marito. So you see all these things, yo, people don't like these changes. But again, like I said, États-Unis too.
En même temps, too, we gotta realize we're dealing with human beings. You know, we all got, you know, moun ki gen mortgage, moun ki gen timoun. It's scary. Ou levon jou et puis ou do, hey, just get out of there. You comprend? So we all know how that feel.
Yeah, but Mano, you got to realize there's a lot of jobs that are like, how would I say that? You know how the government sometimes has a stimulus package for the country and they send money to everyone? Well, think of the government and especially some government job as a stimulus package, right? Let's grow government so we can hire more people, so we get more people working, right? They're happy they have a job. They're not necessarily
doing anything
needed. They're not necessarily needed, right? But, you know, they have a job. They're paying taxes and they're contributing, right? And like you said, they've been there for 20, 30, 40 years. And then after that, they get a pension and then they're part of the American dream, right? Some of them, like, you know, don't have any special skills. Now, if you're older and this is happening, it might be very scary for you. But if you're younger, you might need to be retrained and then acquire different skills that are valuable to society so you can actually get a job.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the young people they just hired at the IRS, which is 25 years old. We're talking about like people with family and everything. You see what I'm saying? Like you wake up one day and it's like, you know, where's your next paycheck? And then everybody knows in America, I don't know how many the percentage is, but a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck.
See,
so now here we go.
And then if you look at the screen,
look at the screen, là, yo vle moutre que et Jean leve les bases pour le travail là, comme ça tout petit au bois à lever à faire le tout. So pretty soon tout ça qu'on capable faire depuis au bois qu'à faire les fautes là caillou.
Oui, eh ben même regardez, moi maintenant Richard pour ça la café taxe tout oui.
Mais oui. Mais son robot fait taxe, son robot fait, son robot fait.
Et puis bon moi si son robot qui fait taxe ça. Moi être là quand même. Moi être là quand même marcher robot.
Oh yeah.
Qui vous fait taxe ça.
Pack it or into it, turbo tax.
Non, nous pas ça.
Non, regardez, ouais bah ça on va pas comme. I set up my machine for taxi. Hey, regardez, taxe blanc avec taxe haïtien fait deux taxes.
Tax national black ba wa.
Ouais, taxe national bloc ba wa.
Elles sont différentes taxes.
Eh,
Que ça on kabo là.
Ouais, blanc, ouais, les blancs fil taxe ou. Les blancs fil taxe ou, li make sure qu'on doit.
C'est AI qui va vérifier taxe avant mon argent refund.
Bon, écoute,
So
nous
no matter what,
Écoute,
you are
là,
back
ouais,
connected.
qu'on y a là, écoute, nous mal bien parlé.
Ouais, qu'on y a mal bien parlé.
Écoute, nous mal bien parlé.
C'est bon, mon cap check, c'est AI cap check.
Et ça
So
me
you have to connect it together.
ou pas, écoute, nous mal bien parlé.
Sur ton bien Shelby encore, hein. Vous savez quoi, non,
So, at the end of the day, monsieur, listen. Et changement fait, et soit samedi là, et pas gagner une gaffe ensemble avec. So, I mean, we just have to like get ready for it. Hopefully, they readjust the way they're doing things and do things in the down low, like give the people like privacy things, like you know.
Lulu,
And that's me. That's
unfiltered Bush Anderson, but not by you.
I got it from like this is well polished. This is a very polished transition.
So,
what's
what's next, Lulu?
Next.
All right. The next thing is Jimmy Butler and him getting his way out of Miami. How do you guys feel about that? I mean, it's been a mess. We've been listening to this over and over. He's kind of been doing whatever it is that he wants to do when he gets upset, etc. Let's talk about Jimmy Butler.
Listen, first of all, with Jimmy Butler, I blame Pat Riley. Okay, this guy, I don't know what this guy is doing. He should have been let this dude go, get somebody who can play at least, let's say, 3 times a week. Because Jimmy Butler was here, all he was doing, if he plays today, today's Monday, he played today, he might play on Saturday. Because he's preserving his need for the playoff, which we might not even make the playoff. So he said he wanted out, and then they don't want to let him out. So he said, okay, you know what? I'm going to force myself out. Professionally, I think he did it the wrong way. And then he's hurting his career by doing it. But obviously, he doesn't care about all that. But it's Pat Riley's fault.
But you know what? The sports change a lot. You know what I'm remarqué, sport a changé en pile. So, gon l'autre bagay pour comprendre. Non play a jouer, s'il pas content avec management team nan, il peut affecter performance li. Même lorsque il paye, il paye pour jouer oui, but mentally, il peut affecter performance li because he's not happy where he is. C'est comme Samuel. So, ouais kounya là, y a montré que de nous a dit OK qui ça monsieur a fait dans the Golden State, but so regardez average 20 points. You know, avec encore tout, encadrement player à tout, avec player la jouer, that's changed his whole demeanor about his performance. Kounya là, you're gonna see his performance. Go back at jouer men. Où est nèg la tap Miami Dolphins, we victim of that all the time. We have a quarterback. The guy's not playing well. We have to let him go. We trade him. Now the guy's beating us, and every time we meet him, he's beating us.
It's not the player.
It's not the player. It's the environment.
Well, I mean, the point with that is now those guys, they get smarter. They recognize value. Also, go back at neck to the Pat Riley is an old school guy. So he believe in like, you know, like they respect him, you do whatever I want you to do. Well, it's true. If someone making $60 million a year for playing for 4 months, that's over, I don't know, maybe
4 months.
80 games. I mean, NBA, if you don't make it to the playoffs, you don't even play. Do you play 4 months if you don't make it to the playoffs?
It's not the
Oh,
Celtics.
you start playing in October.
It's not the
October,
Celtics.
November, December, January, February, March, April.
That's it.
You play, yeah.
Okay, so $60 million, you know, for 6 months. Let's put it this way. So, I mean, the guy have the right. You got to see those guys become like an asset. They protected them. They don't want him to get hurt. They see them to, you know, they're more like a product. So now they recognize their value. You know, they use it. You see what I mean? Like back in the days, there were loyalty. Like a player can play on a team for 20 years. You know that when they got trade, Michael Jordan era, it was like, oh my God, they trade so and so. Those things never happen. But now the guys are there.
I think there's a lot of factor also. The thing with Jimmy Butler, I don't think hasn't won. Has he won a championship?
No,
he hasn't won a championship. So, and he's getting older. I mean, he's getting up there.
That's why they didn't want to give him the money.
Well, yeah, that's why. So he knows that's why they didn't want to give him money. At the same time, he's on a team that
Jimmy Butler did not win a championship.
No, he hasn't won none yet. He hasn't won
none.
No. He went to the finals. No,
yeah.
He went to the finals twice, but has not won a championship.
Yeah, I think he went with Chicago and went with Did he go with Chicago?
Went with the Heat twice.
He went with the Heat
twice. He went to Miami twice.
Denver de Salobedeo.
Okay. So
même j'en des avec des Boston
même j'en noté
Maspine Boston
ou te mettre dit ou te salo ou te Boston mais nous seul pour me connecter et des teams like champion c'est Boston defending champion, so on va vous deviner parler là affaire Boston on va vous dire et ouvrir bouche répéter bah ça ouais créole me commence à sortir long là
affaire Boston voilà mais Boston
right.
No, but there's a difference. Like, there's a difference if you're going to Golden State and you're going to play with Steph Curry and the Cavs over there, and if you're playing with Miami, so you don't really have. There's some talent. There's some good talent. There's some young talent.
There's more stress on Jimmy Butler playing in Miami. Okay, more stress on him.
Yeah,
and there's more stress on. So basically, this is where I was gonna get at. There's more stress on him playing in Miami because he has to carry the heavyweight, right? Yeah. When he goes over there, he's like, I'm much more comfortable. I can relax. I can play my game, right? Because I know that I'm playing with another stars or maybe in other talent that way I can actually showcase what I have.
For losing.
Yeah, well, they're gonna blame Steph.
Exactly. Yeah. So
and it's hard to blame Steph with all the championship that he's won, right?
Yeah.
That's why Ray Allen.
But that's a good move. That's a good move for Golden State, though. That's a good move for Golden State.
It's a good asset.
Because what happened with Jimmy Butler, they know he's a weapon. So now they have more choices to open the floor. You understand?
And the West is loaded now.
Yeah.
The West is loaded now because now you have LA, right?
Yeah.
It's looking pretty good, looking strong. And exactly. And all the other teams are saying that, hey, you still Denver is still a presence over there. And
Memphis.
What I like?
Memphis.
Memphis. What I like about Pat Riley? Jimmy Butler number was 22, right? In Miami. I believe it was 22. The jersey number was 22. So the moment they traded him for Wiggins, the moment Wiggins get in, he get to pick number 22, which telling Jimmy Butler that his number will not be retired. It's not going to be.
Of course not. I don't see why Jimmy Butler number would be retired in Miami.
I believe that. Anyway. I believe if he didn't do it the way he did it, if he didn't get out the way if he didn't get out of Miami the way he did, he should have
but what did he do in Miami?
What exactly did he do in Miami?
He took a trashy team into the championship round twice.
I mean, if you're talking like that about Wade, if you're talking like that about Shaq, I mean, there's a lot of, obviously Alonzo and some of the other players, but I mean, Jimmy Butler was there for a hot minute.
Like 2 years, right? His contract was
5 years. 5 years.
Well, 5 years playing for 3. He didn't finish the last one because he forced his way out.
Well, Lulu.
Yeah.
Anything to say about sports, Lulu?
I think my only take on that is that it was messy. The fact that he was missing practices or missing games or not showing up to certain events and stuff, just like purposely just doing that. What I hope it doesn't do is create other players to do the same thing or thinking that.
There already a whole bunch of divas. It's already there. Yeah.
And so it's just it could have been done in a cleaner way. That's my
well, Miami need more hungry player.
$60 million.
Listen, whoever you get in Miami right now, there's only one king of the East, all right, and it's called the Boston Celtics.
not this year, buddy. Not this year.
Not
Not this year. Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs. it's serious. Donovan Mitchell with the
I
Cavs,
I
they're
know
very
you're gonna
serious.
go that bandwagon.
Yeah.
It's not bandwagon.
Donovan-
It's not bandwagon. The
Donovan
truth be
Mitchell-
told, you see
Donovan Mitchell-
what they're doing.
Hey, listen, Richard, I'm gonna give you that. Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs are good, only because it's not the playoffs yet.
I agree with that. We'll see. We'll see. We got
So,
3 more
Ivan,
months.
so you think it's gonna be Boston?
What?
think
Can
it's
figure
gonna be
this out.
Okay.
Lulu,
You think it's
Lulu,
gonna be Boston?
Lulu next, Lulu
Okay.
next.
AI. Anderson AI.
Man, no.
That's right.
So the
What's
next
up,
topic
Mandy?
is, before a man dates a woman, should he be able to see her in her natural state? Let's watch a video on that before we discuss.
It's
Listen
the desert show.
to this guy. Listen to this. Listen to this nonsense.
Whenever
Do you think men should
Bajas-
see us
I
in
think
our natural
Bajas-
state before they get in a real relationship with us?
whenever I've heard a man say, "Let me see what you look like with no makeup. Let me see what you look like without the hair," I feel that that man is telling you that he does not have the money to finance your beauty upkeep. Don't come over here thinking that I'm going to go to Sephora, get you some makeup. So I need to see you without all that because I want to strip you of all that because I ain't got it. When a man says that to you, he wants to strip you of everything. He doesn't want you to have the thought process of maintaining yourself. Do you?
What did she just say? That's some
Lulu, can you
that's a
translate that for me?
dumbass thing.
I have
ever-
never seen her without no makeup.
Yo,
I
that's
can't
a
translate that. That's horrible.
that's a dumbass
Exactly.
thing I ever heard from a woman. That's
No.
pure stupidity. That's pure nonsense.
She just said,
Because you're trying to tell me the guy trying to say the natural person before he really get into a serious, something that's so serious as relationship is because the guy cannot afford of you looking fake every day. That makes sense to you because he cannot afford it. So, whoa. What about women are liars?
non, mon cher.
No, listen, Kitembali.
Vous pas la comme ça.
Women are liars.
Pas dit ça.
Let me explain you why.
Pour qui ça?
When women, quel que soit côté malaya, the face that you see is what you get. When I meet a woman, from the tellement que mal porte dans figure base. Faut me prendre ou rencontrer aujourd'hui, si femme ça ou rencontrer next day sans make-up, ou pas même connaître si c'est femme ça et pendant ce temps, ou pas même connaître si c'est femme ça côté avec les soirs campé devant. That's a lie. So you misrepresented yourself. Keep in mind. Premier bagay les nègres contre une femme, the first thing is I don't care what people say, is beauty. Something physically attract you. Mbake ki sali. Nègre doit ba tête yo mati jan ouvli. Que c'est tête bunda femme nan ki wonte kon femme ki chita sou bo kiki, que c'est tête elle ki wonte kon femme ton kon ti zabo kavet, I don't care. But guess what? The first thing is attracted. You are physically attracted to that woman. Ça veut dire si femme nan met ton belle make-up, monsieur, ou pas qu'on garde femme monsieur femme nan tel, femme nan les femme nan fin retirer make-up, j'en l'aide. Ou vle dire si femme ça va dire make-up, ou t'as j'en garde femme ça?
Ça besoin retirer le fait.
Well, listen, you know,
Could you love
women-
him because I want to see your face?
women
Without
and
makeup,
men
it's because I
lie.
cannot afford. You got that right. I can't.
Women and men lie. They both lie differently. So women lie about their beauty, men lie about their bank account. All right.
Well, that's a good lie. That's a good lie.
Well,
That's a good.
nowadays, we have the men that are putting the wigs and getting the haircut so it can look as if, you know, they're not losing hair.
Well,
think
that's
it's
not
on
me.
both sides.
That's not me.
It's on both sides. People are trying.
Oh,
to
no,
hide-
Lulu. Don't give me that, Lulu. No, Lulu. Don't
It's
give me
on
that.
both
Don't give me that,
sides
Lulu.
nowadays.
Don't tell me it's on both sides. No, Lulu. You
No,
comparing
I'm not.
a woman. Ou
Take
wap
a picture
kompare
back.
an femme qui met ton masque dans figil avec un nèg qui te gen cheveux déjà, qui perd du cheveux, qui met cheveux, nothing change.
Oui.
Li te gen cheveux déjà. Li mette cheveux.
Li implant cheveux ou bien li met ton
Li implant cheveux. Listen, quel que soit quel implant li, quel implant. Pour tout d'abord, on va garçon mettre les bon.
C'est garçon. Non,
Bon, qui fait tatou six pack là. Bon,
Hein?
ça lui-même.
Fake.
Mais qui fait tatou six pack là. Pour ça va bon tout.
Oui, tatou six pack ou bien li implant six pack?
I think Drake
Ouais.
did that.
Monsieur font tatou.
On tatou six pack ou bien on implant six pack?
On tatou six
Bon, monsieur, ouais, comme ça, monsieur. Gardez le bout, petit. Ouais, comme ça.
Got petit bout de poète. She's an overgrown midget.
Yo, dude. Si vous retirez mes copes, puis si vous retirez mes copes comme ça, là, ou retirez mes copes là, ou retirez cheveux là, pas gagner prêté.
Monsieur, damn look good, monsieur.
Comme ça, oui,
Always
mais ça va
updating.
bon.
Comme là, oui.
Et là, pas de problème, non, oui? Ou elle fait ça, là, remine. Mais elle a retiré toute bagage ça.
Est-ce que monsieur,
Ouais, comme ça. N'est-ce que tu supposé commencer à foutre from police, take them to court, pour ce son bagage ça.
That happened.
That's misleading. That's misleading.
So I agree. I believe it's fair to see them in their natural state. Yes, before I get in a relationship with you, I want to see what you really look like. Take off the makeup. Let me see how long your natural hair is. Let me see you without the lashes. Now, if you want to do it after, you feel like it embellishes you, that's fine.
Lulu, you only saying that. You only saying that because you don't have to wear no makeup. And you do
I
have
don't wear makeup. I don't like
Exactly.
makeup.
Exactly.
Listen,
Well, I
think
Gardez
you
Loulou.
completely wrong.
Gardez Loulou. Loulou, ouais, la kounya là, levé demain matin, c'est même Loulou, ouais. Le après-midi, même là. Gardez des femmes, à midi, ils semblent, ils gon l'autre look. À 6h10 l'après-midi, ils gon look. À 10h du soir, ils gon look. Bon, minuit, ils gon look. Bon, 3h du matin, même c'est diable net.
Well, no, women like listen. Basically, the one thing I pick up, and then we're not talking about it. She was like, "Oh, if you want to see me in my natural state, that means you cannot afford me, right?" I don't think that's true at all, because the thing is, like, I met you a certain way. Yes, I may be curious on what you look like in the natural state. Someone qui t'a financé, because that's how you look when I met you. You had your makeup. Who financed that? So you weren't able to finance it yourself. Well, if you finance it yourself when I met you, you should be able to continue to finance it, right? And not only that is, yes, I may in the future want to finance it because, hey, you're my woman. I'm taking care of you. I want to do this. I want to do X, Y, Z. Right? I can choose to finance it if I want to. But okay, some belle femme, I met you I met you at this particular party and you were looking a certain way. But we all know when you're sitting on your couch and you're having a cozy night under your blanket and we're watching Netflix, that's not the way you look, right? And I might be curious of what you look because most of the time, believe it or not, most of the time that I'm going to spend with you for the rest of my life, you're most likely going to look like,
regular.
When you just regular, when you are your regular self.
Get that from bits action with make up là. Gardez petit get that from papa, il dormi à make up là, oui.
And there's no gardez screen.
Bon, moi même pas commenter.
Gardez screen. Gardez screen.
Regardez, ou pas j'aime moi wala gym et puis moun n'a pas lan gym. Li pas lan gym, li pas sweat. Et puis fi que charger make up. M'ba j'aime ka comprendre phénomène.
Li pas lan gym pour la sweat, lan gym pour la check neck.
Mais gen fi qui refuse de quitter la caillou, ça va pas gagner. They're just not comfortable doing that.
Parce que femme nan l'aide bas, femme nan l'aide.
Même pas la bougasson.
Femme nan pas confortable, listen. Monsieur Goumaga pour comprendre. Femme nan pas confortable avec Jean-Luc là, pour mettre make-up là pour sentir belle. Don't lie to yourself. Femme yo gaba tête de petit Jean blé. Goumaga femme yo.
No, Anderson, listen. I don't agree. I think there's people got it. I'm not gonna leave my house without Louboutin on my feet. That's who you are. That's how you.
That's who you are. Still leave him to 12. Get in like
listen.
Get in like yo. To même Rotschill a dit, yo, petit, moi, tel côté là, moi-même, toujours, je dis que je parle, mais bon, là, mettons un pantalon sous moi, et puis, on te dit, non, bien, comme ça, Rotschill n'a pas fait comme tout mon pantalon sous lui. Pour lui-même,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying.
Bah, monsieur, nous pas cap compas.
Chaque monde gon identité, and there's certain things that you put on, you feel comfortable. When ka dit comme moi-même mano rien dit mano OK style Stanley mon cher Stanley après mais ça quand ça me dans on bail et puis me dit mon cher ça style mano right, because you have that identity. So if you spend 5, 10, 15 years of putting your makeup a certain way, it becomes your identity. And at some point, people feel uncomfortable leaving their home,
It's
not
a
looking
false
at the way they
identity
should
then.
look.
Et ça m'a parlé.
Well,
Then you become a
it
fake.
might be, it
Then
might
you
be
fake.
Violette. It's a fake.
It's a level. It's a level.
No, femme qui l'aide de mettre
it's
make-up
not
up.
because it's not. Je sais pas parce que you're led vraiment. It's not because they're ugly. It's because that's their identity and that's how they want to present themselves.
So that means okay. So that means it's not you. So that means you lie about yourself.
Yeah, but
Ça veut dire, si je parle pour une femme, un coup de fête, si je parle faire tout film avec une femme, et puis qu'on y a là, ou les dit, j'ensemble, j'aime de rencontrer dans le club là, et pas qu'on soit loup, et puis qu'on y a si me yo, si me dit, ah, je suis quoi, c'est.
Tu vas la coucher ou mettre make-up.
Hein?
It gets to a point where it becomes ridiculous. But if a man asks to see your natural state without the makeup, that has nothing to do with I cannot afford your beauty or anything. They have every right to ask.
True.
Mais non, pas ça, son stupid statement.
Mais faut ça stupid, man.
That's stupid.
This stupid.
That's stupid.
Makeup, why was makeup created? Makeup was created for what?
To enhance. Well, I mean, I would say to cover up.
No. Makeup was created for movie. Oh, j'aimerais. Donc, vous me regardez ou pas non movie Chabio. Par exemple, movie Chabio. Vous n'avez pas look comme ça, but yo.
Pas vrai, non. Make-up existe depuis longtemps égyptien. Ouais, avec ouais eyeliner que mesdames ont pénétré dans les yeux, sont pas qui là depuis l'Égypte a fait pyramide. Ouais, avec so it's
mais c'est comme ça
nouveau dans le monde.
Comme ça qu'on a ce windshield yo mettre dans figure dans des bases. Comme ça c'est windshield qui dans figure. Mais c'est l'autre jour la mal long terme monsieur. M'chita de on femme men. C'est ça un black woman dit. M'chita de c'est
gardé ba.
M'chita non, non. M'chita de femme non petit. M'pa ka garder passer à non. Plus j'ai femme non ba passer à.
Blanc metel tout. Blanc metel. Pour le metel. Extension le metel.
Non, petit. Pas dit pour le metel ba.
Le metel extension.
Pour nous que femme boyal. Moi compte femme boyal.
Pour ça nous connaît le make-up. It's to make up for a lack of aesthetic. So therefore, some bagay ko enhance. That doesn't mean you're an ugly person, but you enhancing and you making up for the lack of aesthetic that you may have in certain areas.
Vous ne pas enhance yourself vous-même.
Non, monsieur met des filtres. Il met des filtres.
Oui, mettez tout. Mais ça veut dire que ça va mettre tout.
Monsieur met des filtres, c'est okay. It's okay.
Mais c'est chaque jour monsieur me dit pour show, pour ça m'a mettre make-up. No. Ouais, et ça m'a dit là, ouais l'enfant me rencontre figure ouais je dis là c'est figure sur le de ce matin.
Mais femme dans lui-même, c'est beauty qui everything.
Well, that's her main agency.
That's her main
agency.
Pour qu'il soit le laver parce que belle.
Ah non mon cher. Non, pas laver parce que make-up la belle. Pas venir si parce qu'elle belle. Parce que pas la belle parce que make-up la belle. So l'aime fini identifier.
The first impression that you get is going to be her beauty. Everything else is going to come after. For l'ouvrir bouche pour qu'on qui est lié, pour qu'on monte ou gagner les soirs l'encontre famille pour qu'on qui famille aussi and everything. Right? Everything come after. So nous mêmes garçons, we work. You asking me why I'm not wearing makeup? This is not my main agency. My main agency as a man is something else. Her main agency, her first impression is basically how she looks.
Et bien avec dénominateur.
Mais nous pas qu'à dire how she looks. Nous pas qu'à dire how she looks parce que genre où elle look là pas comme ça look vrai. Ça veut dire que peut-être ça en pile nèg pas toujours des problèmes avec femme. Nèg a toujours divorcé, nèg a toujours fait nèg a toujours fait nice thing parce que moi même si t'as fait moi non club, moi belle non club là. Et puis manjangwe et puis demain matin lève moi son macaque qui bon côté m'gè problème avec m'ga foutu police parce que pas tout ça m'a tiré rôle pour ça même
si regardez moi jango macaque moi jango macaque
et donc on regarde où allons club et donc on regarde où allons club et pour rencontrer ensemble avec ou rencontrer avec un nègre, on change gender, il va connaître son femme nié et puis ou al manger et puis regardez même matin où on est on gros boule green et puis kounya là. Ça va. Non cher. Kounya massi si pas force.
All right, Anderson. Let me go to piece and chop piece too.
Oui. Et pour garder ouais, pour faire temps ouais nègre camper la pipi.
No. Mr. Abdi, hey, baby, you call. No, I'm not called. You called.
Et puis si c'est ça que je vous parle Bangkok. Sorry.
Hey, can you give me a water? You get your own water.
Monsieur, n'a vivre dans société men.
Bangkok.
N'a vivre dans société nous charge problème non monsieur. N'a vivre dans société nous charge problème peut-être ça ouais. L'important L'important, monsieur, là nous sortis de on a rencontré femme yo.
Bah ouais, femme naturelle, baba.
Yo,
Monsieur,
There were stories of men suing women because their child came out to them ugly.
I've seen that, yeah.
No, I've seen that. Let
me listen to Lulu. You're trying to be nice. You're trying to be nice about it. You say to them ugly. Well, that child was ugly. That child was ugly.
There's no ugly child. There's no ugly baby.
It's a lie. It's unfair.
Unfortunately.
Maybe I charge you
Monsieur quitte Lulu.
A commercial where a woman, she took off lashes.
Yeah.
The eye contact.
Yeah.
The hair.
Yes.
The tits.
Yes.
The makeup.
Yes.
The teeth.
Oui.
It was like a completely different person. Yeah. The magic that makeup can do when you see a before and after. It's scary.
Yes.
As a man, I want to see you without any of it before I even make you my girlfriend, let alone marry you.
Ça veut dire, vous voulez dire, si je connais femme ça manque 4 de devant Jolly, m'apprendre, vous voulez dire, si je connais femme ça manque 4 de devant Jolly, m'd'avoir prendre avec. Et puis kounya là, ou pas
Jol, man, et bouche.
C'est Jol, gade
bouche.
Ou femme qui fait bagarre comme ça, c'est Jol ou bien bas.
Anderson.
Petit, gade bagarre qui traumatise. Petit, la crise police me métier. Petit, ou apil pour une belle femme, ou filme Djengwe pour voir son macaque. Petit, bagarre ça faut pour la vie, oui.
Mais ça arrive Anderson déjà.
Mon cher Mbabdou ça.
Monsieur Abdou, non. Monsieur Abdou, non. Monsieur Abdou, non.
Monsieur nous bien, monsieur. Monsieur nous bien. Depuis les samedi, black women pose sous lui.
Monsieur, bottom of the line, the story is, parler de dormir pour lever demain matin.
Mon cher, oui.
Vous comprenez? Ou fait soit faire à mettre dehors. Ou pas besoin d'en lever demain matin.
Non,
on va nommer
Bagay ça arrive Carlo classe.
Oui, Carlo classe. Oui, bagay ça arrive Carlo. Oui, Carlo classe, bagay ça arrive Carlo classe Haïti.
Sortim là.
Oh, même.
Carlo cheveux.
Monsieur, mon cher.
What was the story?
J'ai descendu le talon au gars, toi, Carlo classe.
Pas dit ça.
Monsieur, prenez un bon zombie. Chris Boule.
Au zombie.
Monsieur, votre marié là, ça, non? Eh bien, et depuis que ça finit, monsieur marié à madame ni.
Petit.
Monsieur.
Si c'est du matin, monsieur, là.
Carlo slide, dans des catégories ça, slide.
Carlo classe pour tellement pour 6 cm, puis c'est pour voir la 10 cm, pour tellement marié madame.
Oh, mais story, by story, no slide. Pour nous faire by story,
Mais Carlo qui pour le venir jouer à la monsieur vini là ma blague ça.
Monsieur là n'a fait la jeudi ou pas jeudi mais monsieur vient jeudi.
Non, mais ma boss son jeudi.
On a fait jeudi là.
Anderson timge ton pico pour nous qu'a fait choix là. Et où tu vas plus à qui le.
N'a fait choix là m'a
bébé.
Pendant ce temps, témoin. Voilà.
Papi quoi monsieur.
Voilà, témoin. Oh non, m'a bien arrivé mon cher. Voilà, m'a pour estimer qu'à pour un vol. Non, 5 m'a bien arrivé.
Non, m'a bien arrivé non.
Pas comme moi
parce que l'offinatérie faut conduire 1 heure de temps pour la quand même.
Elle va
qui va arrêter.
Ou bien ça c'est mal la casse nous fait choix.
Monsieur
et après ça monter.
Non, ce qu'on y a là,
Ça,
descendre
ça, les
sud, on va
rapides,
descendre
on
Bon,
descend
c'est
sud,
pas
sud.
si nèg a pour un volume,
Singapore,
bon,
il
c'est
va
important, hein. M'ba chercher, m'ba parce qu'on connaît m'ba prendre petit a, m'ba si nèg a pour vol midi. Faut dire ça c'est important.
Et là, vous pouvez aller.
Hein?
Vous pouvez aller.
Non, m'ba pas l'avion privé papa. C'est vrai?
Hein?
Hein?
Parce que,
Tant qu'on nèg qui dit aucun cadavre.
en tout cas, monsieur,
Bon,
je
monsieur, nous connaissons déjà qu'on est femmes sont créatures
Hein?
qui déceptives.
Donc,
Ouais, me dit non, et sont créatures qui
parlez
déceptives.
dormi.
Ouais, me dit
Mais c'est nous qu'on a créé.
massage au tout calé. Ouais, me dit,
Stanley
nous
ba
connaissons
Rotschill
ça
là.
qu'elle fait.
Stanley ba Rotschill là, et tout petit.
C'est une créature déceptive.
mais c'est nous qu'on a créé les jambes de bas.
Sont mal nécessaires.
C'est dire que cadavre,
On va nous gagner
c'est
des
pas des
bêtes.
normal
C'est
bon.
Je gagne avion.
Go
Avion pas pour lui non, les comme ça. On va voir avion soulever.
Allez non, ça les m'a tout. Mais c'est dire la chèque 4 avions papa.
Bon même est mon exemple.
Non, on va gagner des bêtes, c'est rarement ouais, on passe bête la déceptif ouais, mais tu vois, elle dit que bête la ruinée, vous comprenez? Eh ben on forme pour pas qu'on qui ensemble est vrai. On va connaître qui les règles, là, mais c'est pas vrai. It's a very deceiving creature.
Non, non.
Ça prend pile coup.
Bon, monsieur, bon, vous côté monsieur.
Loulou, n'est pas coup.
Oh, non, moi, chef femme, femme, yo ka coup base.
Et ça nous ça prend coup.
Ou prend coup tout, nous tout prend coup dans mes femmes.
Bon, c'est pas
Bon, mais regardez la femme fou poche dans les baba. Ouais, poche femme mettre les copes là.
Il va faire mal.
Ouais, poche femme mettre les copes là. Femme non plier règle baba. Pour le prendre ba de fouer poche dans li bloquer règle là et pour même moi manger ngwe. Femme oui, femme c'est diable base. Pour mauvais esprit, femme oui.
Bah quoi son mais solier tout nèg a levé même pas yo.
Bah Loulou parler, Loulou n'a pas dit.
Loulou sorti chez.
Monsieur ba ben ami on peut
Well,
donner.
what I was going to say is that I think humans in general could be deceptive.
Yes.
Because men deceive women as well. I love
Oh
you.
yeah.
Oh no, I love you is not deceiving. I
I
love you is not deceiving, Lulu.
I know a friend of mine who gives women the world, everything. This is you. You're
love bombing.
And then they pull that rug from under that woman, and then she goes berserk. She goes crazy, and that's just a high for him.
Lulu,
So
no.
just, you know,
Lulu, guess what? Nous n'exprimer, je le sens le moment.
So back there's something
Okay. Laisse-moi comme mettre un bel make-up. Là, mon gon bel make-up, moi son belle femme qui devant. M'a exprimer mon belle femme a dit oh cher, oh bon Dieu. Quand nous créature. Oh, côté bon Dieu.
Non, grand pile qui love bomb. Don't pas qu'il qui love bomb. So they can get what they're looking for.
Et puis après ça moi son femme ou LED.
T'as le moment de question.
Et m'ba pas même poème non.
Ou go fond la fin d'amour ou ba non bagay et puis tout après ça on prend le mail back.
Hein?
Autant de.
Qui je suis d'amour
ou gon fil avec fille après ça on va quoi pour ça.
Ça dépend de ça le fait non?
Soit du là.
Oh.
Bon, moi c'est des nèg cachetés qui rencontrent une fille. Nèg yo achète Chanel bag. Mais les hommes de Chanel bag.
Qui te choix? Ah, choix comme une.
Ça regarde gars là.
Mal, choix fini.
Ou dit monsieur ton bagay ou pas de monsieur ton
choix fini mal non.
Monsieur,
love bomb moi-même yo tout d'amour.
Monsieur et pour le dire next thing Lisa.
On me fait mon connaît monsieur ça veut. Là vous jouez monsieur non choix je veux dire. Ça va pas
école on fait.
Mais ça va pas non choix je veux dire. Ou pas des femmes là n'a pas
monsieur. Non, faut m'amener.
Faut make down.
Mais faut pas mentir monsieur.
Producer
oh mais non là monsieur
producer a duré 2 minutes.
Faut me raison pile
producer a duré 2 minutes.
Faut nous regarder femme non. Faut nous connaître jo regarder les pas qu'on assemblée. Ou déparler tellement femme non belle devant. Et puis faut nous faire figure bien dur.
Et va devant en face.
Pour faire sentir non c'est comme ça look. Et puis demain matin by mistake first time get.
Allô,
Make
allô.
a your pillowcase.
Ça veut dire que
But
Calo là,
anyway,
Calo pas là, qui est Calo on peut pas.
Calo faut traumatiser.
Calo pas là, qui est Calo on peut.
Les Calo vini m'a demandé
Sans
qui
le
ça.
bagage.
Qui j'en fais.
L'aile là n'a pas de lui. En tout cas, 2 minutes. Et pour nous chercher 2 minutes. Loulou, dégage.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna have our last comments. Practically, my last comment is this: we need a cleanup in governmental entities. I've worked there, I've seen it, and I've experienced it as a customer. And women, let the men see your natural state. That is the right thing to do.
Appelle pas bien nèg.
On va jamais dans Disney World pour on sait des moun k'ap marcher avec un paquet de ti moun derrière yo.
Eh ben, nice thing.
Listen,
Nice thing.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you, men are not picky at all, my friend.
Why
Al
not?
Disney World, I'll get the moun k'ap marcher avec tout ti moun da ou ou di ou.
C'est pas mon nom.
Bon, on va parler tete bon ouais, moi-même, comment tu dire là? Parce que c'est important. Ouais, non, maman, moi-même. Ouais, non, maman, moi-même. Si on fait nous parler, ou pas gros, m'pas besoin.
Oui, n'a pas besoin.
Okay, that's another show for another time. Anyway, I had a good time, a lot of good laughs, a very interesting topic today. Looking forward to the next one. Subscribe, like, share.
Ouais.
And Jean Anderson Kondia m'a prêté l'homme Jodia, ban love.
Oui. M'bo fait nous la bonne love, dis-moi love you.
Et au même moment.
That's it.
Mano.
Eh bien, bon, Jean Dedia, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Et bien content que Anderson once again exprimer, partager personal experience avec nous. Que le prenne un pauvre femme laide, bah, whatever.
Oh.
So,
Kemaya.
Il n'y a pas de ça. Il n'y a pas de ça.
Michel, regarde le choix. Allez, regarde le choix. Nous avons un problème avec ma soeur. Moi, je vais faire ça chaque lundi, nous faisons comme choix. Chaque lundi, nous prenons le choix. Chaque lundi. Et jeudi, au bon.
a lot of laugh and subscribe, share, et puis hopefully we get to do the show on Thursday.
Anderson's coming
up north.
Anderson ball freeze là.
Hopefully we get to do the show.
Tout ça aide au bout d'affaire lui moi shit à dire shit à le snow shit à le snow.
Ouais, je trouve Miami chez vous. Je trouve Miami bon traitement. Et soit ça me douleur manger dans gros restaurant mais non dans bon weather. Bah ouais kounya là.
Et ouais ça me chape de vous.
Quatre ça me chape de
la chemisette pour y aller pour la
mais bah haïtien à cause boule mais merci. Lui ça n'a pas fait expédition dans monde weather après et puis pour grain me fusil.
Déjà fait ça. En tout cas, show à bon à tout on bien regarder à like les share les partager la zone nous encourager nous lundi avec jeudi pour nous garder et puis ça il en a fait depuis la bombe 6 000 pam non mon cher dégageons dégageons fais ça pour les
what was your five bullet points your task for the week
what was your task for the week
soit bon 6 000 pam dégageons
leave la
le ça bon $20,000 alors dégageons mon frère et les filles dame non vieux dame qui dit comme ça sans pour l'autre chose sujet but dame Jasmine Cracker qui dit que oh America is in the business of giving now pas occuper il en dégageons 5,000 pour nous chaque et puis dégageons
mesdames et messieurs bon moi même pas tellement aimé choix aujourd'hui si me connais comme ça et comme ça t'as pas fait comme ça t'as pas et si moi t'as fait choix pas vini et ça ça nous là bon tout même bon et depuis nous comme nous enjoy les so it was great having you guys et puis pas oublier everything is for entertainment même Magaeton vous manœuvrer nos pompiers maïs Magaeton et puis bon ou bien nos garçons tout yeah so pas oublier subscribe share post là buy love comme nous nous et puis share avec famille nous because we did the show for you guys. Great show, great humor. Thank you very much for watching the Rotschill Anderson Show ensemble avec staff là, avec Koua et n'a tout dit merci avec producteur. Next on font travail extraordinaire derrière et sur samedi là. We thank you for watching again. Share the post, go subscribe because the show we did it for you guys to enjoy. Merci bien. Bon après-midi. Wow.
So Anderson Te quiero el solo, te vas a-